gentlemen, we are live! It's time!
Hey, what up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? We are live here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time to how do I put this? It's time for another episode of Something About Dynamite here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. And so, as always, I am me. I am Steve. I'm here once again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all of you are having a good day. I hope all of you are excited for the weekend. I hope all of you are excited for the big game happening. Oh no, I'm hearing there's a big game. I'm also hearing that there's going to be a football game happening this Sunday during a Bad Bunny 15-minute concert. I don't know if that's ever been done, but I'm here for it. I can't wait to see that. But if you are again new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share it throughout your entire social media platforms with all your friends and spread the word, spread the love, and all that fun stuff. For me, today's been a very, very chill day for the most part. But now here I am talking about AEW Dynamite from last night, the February 4th episode of AEW Dynamite. If you enjoyed the show, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, what did you like? What did you not like from the show? And all that stuff. What we got last night was build, advancement towards what is going to be Grand Slam Australia for the most part. I'll be honest, the show overall, I know last week we didn't do almost anything because I was going through issues at the house with the boiler and all that stuff. So here I am getting the ball rolling again, getting everything going. If you notice this week, your boy's been consistent. It all started on Monday on Steve's Kitchen, where myself and Chase, we recapped the 2026 Royal Rumble on Steve's Kitchen. Go give that a watch whenever you get a chance. If you have not yet checked out our Royal Rumble 2026 recap. And then on Tuesday, I gave you guys the Raw rundown where I talked about everything that happened on Monday Night Raw, where basically it was a bore until the end, where Roman Reigns finally made his choice. He chose CM Punk for WrestleMania. And now here I am with Something About Dynamite. Andrade, let me tell you, man, he's on a roll. He's on a roll. But we'll get to all that stuff in a bit here. So the show was live from Las Vegas at the Palms. Now, I've been to that building before during WrestleMania weekend for Joey Janela's spring break. Mostly what I remember from being in that building was the meet and greet that me and Chase did, where I dressed up as Solo Sikoa and people showed up. People pulled up to the table, took pictures and stuff, and we got drunk, completely drunk. Myself, Chase, Howie, Ernie, Chief, we all just got shit faced and stuff like that. That's what I remember from being there in that building. But overall, I thought Dynamite, if I'm honest, it was all right. Like, nothing to go crazy about outside of, again, like I mentioned before, you're building up towards the Australia show happening literally in a couple of days. So there's that. We got on this show Andrade versus Kenny Omega, which I thought for the most part it was a good match, right? We now know who is going to go to Australia to face Hangman Adam Page. And also, it looks like we are going towards a program with Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland. I want to believe it's Revolution, but I'm also hearing reports that Kenny has to be in Japan. So it's like, really, like, what is it, man? Like, come on, But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the chat and all that stuff. Let's get into this, shall we? So the show opened up with the Don Callis family of Konosuke Takeshita, El Clone, and Josh Alexander going up against the Death Riders of Daniel Garcia, Pac, and John Moxley, who is the AEW Continental Champion. I thought, for the most part, the match itself, uh, I thought, for as far as an opening goes, it was okay. The match went about 13 minutes, and as you expect, they're going all over the place. Um, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, wait a minute. So are the Death Riders baby faces now, right? Which I'm kind of like still scratching my head to, right? But I feel like now, I don't know about you guys, they are more tolerable for the most part. The match ends with the Don Callis family picking up the W. They picked up the W, and I think overall, look, man, I did not see that coming, and I did not expect that to happen, and I'm fine with that. But because of what happened, as a result, it is going down at Grand Slam. It will be John Moxley defending the Continental Championship against Konosuke Takeshita. I think it will be a very fun match for the most part. I do think, though, if you want my humble opinion, I do think that Konosuke recaptures the title. That's what I see happening here, because we have to go back to the Konosuke Okada program. And I know Okada, I know he hasn't been around television in a minute, so there's that too. So we'll see how all that goes about. But let me know your thoughts in the chat. What did you thought of the opening match and stuff like that? Read it. Again, if you have stuff to say, feel free to hit in the chat. Western Red, this might be a hot take, but Adam Page is the 1A to MJF 1B. You could say that, I guess. I mean, after the way MJF was treated last night, yeah, I guess so, which we'll get into as well. Yeah, he was beaten 3 minutes, wasn't he? Yeah. Very, very I did not comprendo that at all. From there, we saw backstage Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana cut a promo where they are eyeing the world title. And if you gotta remember, the week prior, Swerve Strickland lost to Andrade. So his hopes and dreams of getting a shot at the world title is not happening anytime soon. It's not happening, right? But if what they're gonna do, because again, Nano was talking, but Swerve just walked away, right? Like, he's not happy, he's upset. And I don't blame him. I do not blame him at all. But I look forward to seeing the direction they're going to go with it. But after this, we saw a video package promoting the return of Will Ospreay. As you guys know, Ospreay has been away for a minute with a neck injury. I believe it was a neck injury. And now they're starting to play vignettes that he's returning. I would say he returns just in time for the Owen Hart tournament, because I do feel like, you're going back to England, right? For All In, you're going back to London. You would expect him to be in the main event or be involved in major plans for that event. So I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine. Here's where I was like, whatever, man. What is this, right? We had Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy going up in a mixed tag team match, because we just had to have a mixed tag team match for whatever reason. It just needed to happen. They had Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm going up against Jordan Oasis and Brittany Brooks, two enhancement talents. Remember, they are the ones going up at Grand Slam Australia in a hair versus hair match against Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir. So you want to give them momentum. You want to give them some motivation, I guess, with some momentum going into their match happening in Australia, right? The last thing you want to have is have them lose. I'll be honest, though. I'll be totally honest. Um, there's a lot of people out there that are not feeling this pairing. I think it's tolerable in some points, like for the comedy, cool. But I feel like Tony Storm could be doing so much better than this, right? In my opinion. That's just one man's opinion. I know there's some of you out there who might enjoy what you're getting out of Timeless Tony Storm. And if you fall in that boat, if you fall in that category, then by all means, good for you. For me, I feel like they could be doing so much better with her. But again, being that, again, the show happening on the 4th, I believe, yes, on the 14th, I believe it is. Yeah, the 14th. It's in Australia. So you need to have that representation on this show coming up in a couple of days. So this was their way of having her be on the show and a hair versus hair match, right? I'll be honest though, I don't think we needed the match. I feel like you could have easily just done the promo, right? Just done the promo, right? Where they regretted the idea of being in a hair versus hair match. However, Timeless Tony Storm says she was aiming to make Shafir look like Jon Moxley. He was aiming to have him look like Jon Moxley. Then Luther got involved in some way, shape, or form too. Yeah, I mean, again, you could have easily just done the promo and that was it. What I do know about the team they wrestled, I know Brittany Brooks is the one who's dating. I know she's dating Chris Bay. Jordan Oasis, I don't know. Like, also, we couldn't get a guy. Like, you could have paired her up with someone that doesn't tower over Orange Cassidy. We couldn't just get that, in my opinion. Like, come on, like, what are we doing? Yeah, man, a wrestling show on Valentine's Day. If I'm not mistaken here, let me just check real quick. Let me just check. Let me just check here. It's on the 14th, bro, on Valentine's Day. But keep in mind, remember, Chief, they're in Australia. So you're not getting the live feed. You're getting a tape delay. So by the time you watch it, it's gonna be Saturday night, right? It'll be live, I guess, technically, while everyone's asleep here on the East Coast. And I guess, dare I even say, the West Coast. So chances are, bro, we're getting a tape delay. Look, let's be honest here, if you don't have a date on Saturday, well, on the 14th, if you have not booked a reservation, which, by the way, as a culinary major, let me just say this right now. If you have not booked a reservation at a restaurant for you and your significant other, by now, you're cooked. You are COOKED, cooked. Anyone knows the restaurants, the 2 nights that they are the most overbooked is Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. So, may I suggest to you guys, if you have not booked anything yet, I got y'all. I'm likely will be dropping a cooking video sometime in the upcoming days. I got to work on it. I'm probably going to do something for Valentine's Day. Something to put a smile on her face, if you will. All right. Tony Storm is arguably the face of AEW right now. She can do better. I wouldn't say the face, like maybe one of the top acts on the show in the women's division for AEW. Absolutely. But to say she's the face of the show, it's up for debate. Hopefully this year they have a proper ring. We coming up a year since we last saw Buddy Matthews. Yeah, Buddy Matthews. Absolutely. Hopefully they get a proper ring. They don't have to borrow from some rinky-dink indie promotion. But yeah, overall, I thought the match itself was a blah. I don't think we needed it. They could have just easily done the promo, and then that was it. After this, we saw Darby Allin get attacked by Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd in the parking lot. And then they kidnapped him. Now, if you recall, If you guys remember a while back, a while back, if you remember, Darby Allin did almost the same thing to Gabe Kidd, right? So it's kind of like a whole like, damn, look how far we've come, almost type of shit, right? Here we are, and there was more of this too. There was more because we saw later on in the night, we saw like they were driving somewhere in the desert, and they're literally have Darby in the body bag, and you see Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd driving, and the body bag, Darby's in the body bag, being dragged around while they're driving the car. So it's like when Harambe dragged the kid, literally. Um, that being said, Darby just loves to get hurt, bro. Darby just loves getting hurt. I'm surprised that Tony is still allowing this. But hey, it's Darby Allin. He's not going to say no to him after Darby, climbed Mount Everest. I mean, I'm not surprised, so it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, likely they might do a tag team match probably or something like that by the time we get to Revolution. So after this, we did get Hangman Adam Page versus Mark Davis. The match itself, how do I put this? Um, it was okay for the most part. I mean, the match went about 11 minutes. You got to remember, Mark Davis can't catch a break. He lost his tag team partner and Jake Doyle, who's out with an injury. So he's back in the singles run here. Back in the singles run. I'm surprised they're not pairing him up with Hechicero or with Josh Alexander. Surprised. But the match itself went about 11 minutes. Hangman Adam Page got the win. And remember, Hangman was gonna wait for the winner of Andrade and Kenny Omega. So you want to give the guy who is fighting to get an opportunity at the world title, some momentum as well. Just like earlier with Timeless Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy, saying they're getting involved in that hair match. So you want to give these people who are on that show some momentum, right? So there was that. After this, we did see a vignette for Kevin Knight. It has also been said that Kevin Knight this Saturday on Collision, he will be going up against Scorpio Sky. So that's happening on Collision. Also on the show, we're going to hear from Chris Statlander, where she will announce her stipulation against Tekla on Collision. We'll hear what stipulation that's going to be. So there's that as well. From there, we go on to what the match of the night between Kenny Omega and Andrade El Idolo. These guys, now look, they've wrestled before. So you kind of knew what to expect. I think the last time they wrestled each other was in AAA, if I'm not mistaken. That's when Andrade brought out Ric Flair. This was like back in I want to say 2019, 2020. That's when that took place. If I remember correctly, if not 2021, that's when it happened. The match itself was, I thought, a very, very entertaining match. These guys went back and forth. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's a part of me that's like, you know what? They just might give it a Kenny Omega because it's Kenny Omega, right? And then out of nowhere, the referee gets distracted. I guess what happened here was Swerve Strickland got involved and accidentally cost Kenny Omega the match by accident. And that led to Andrade getting the win. But also, there's something in this match that happened, right? So Andrade does a tornado on the outside onto Kenny Omega. And then, I don't know if y'all noticed this these last couple of weeks, but he's been getting a lot of love from the ladies, from the mamacitas, right? A lot of love for the Latin man. As you saw there, like look at this. The baddies love Andrade, yo. The baddies love Andrade. It's clear as day. Literally a true ladies man, a total Fabio here, if you will. And it's funny enough because it's been reported. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but normally when you see stuff like this, like the week prior to this, right? I think Andrade on Collision, I think 2 weeks ago or so, took off his pants and he gave a girl his phone number or some shit like that. Turns out those women were, independent wrestlers, as plants, right? Turns out these three women have been reported that are in this photo right now. These three baddies are not wrestlers. No, they're not. They are adult content creators. Yeah, adult content creators. Now, I'll be honest, hey, it's Vegas. Go for it. Why the fuck not, right? Bring out the baddies for Andrade. I'm all for that, right? Until one of them, because after this, right, after the match was over, there was a brawl between Kenny and Swerve, like a separation, right? We try to break this up. And one of the baddies posted on her Instagram story what she saw. And you would think, hey, she would write, having a good time, tagging AEW or something like that, right? Wrong. This is what she posted on her social media. She writes here, LMAO, looks so fake. Oh, yes, the dreaded F word. That's literally on her Instagram story. It should be up still as we speak. So my thing is, AEW, if you want to bring in these baddies, whatever it is, good for you. But can you at least do your part and smarten them up? Like, look, wrestling fans get triggered, right? They get so sensitive when someone calls wrestling, the F word that ends in an E. It's 2026 and people still get upset about this. I mean, technically, the politically correct term is predetermined, right? That's the politically correct term. But be that as it may, we couldn't have smartened her up. We couldn't have told her, hey, please don't do that. Something, right? And not that I don't think she gives a fuck, because obviously she doesn't. I'm sure Tony, threw her the bag or whatever the case. But yeah, there was that. But again, AEW, if you want to bring in more baddies like this, go for it. Go for it, because my guy needs it. Andrade, look at this, yo. He's happy, yo. And look, Andrade's been going through it, man. If you know, you know. So this right here can motivate a guy, make him happy. Look at these baddies, yo. And then also in the background there, you see West Side Gun, because why not, right? Why not? But also, because of all this, it is official. At Grand Slam, it will be 1/3 of the trios champions, Hangman Adam Page, going one-on-one with Andrade El Idolo. And the winner will receive a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at Revolution. I'll be honest. I'll be very honest with you guys. If I'm AEW, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, but let me know in the chat, go all in on Andrade. Have Andrade beat Hangman Adam Page in Australia. Do it. Go for it. Go all in. Literally go all in on Andrade. Dude's on a roll. The guy can go. We know this. He can go, right? He already has a win over Swerve Strickland, a former world champion, a win over Kenny Omega. No matter how it happened, but it's a former world champion. And now here you are, one more win over a former world champion to get a shot at the world title. I think also backstage, he had like a little stuff backstage with MJF. Go for it. And also factor in, Revolution will be in Los Angeles, which is a very heavy Hispanic community. So the crowd will be pro Andrade. Now put the world title on him. I mean, let's be honest here. The Don Callis family, if you really want to put some spark into this group, I'd do it. But I mean, hey, that's just one man's opinion, of course, right? But after this, like I mentioned before, Chris Statlander made her announcement. We're also going to hear from Tekla as well. She'll be in action, by the way. She's going to be wrestling one-on-one. Also on the show, we're going to see the Young Bucks going up against the Gates of Agony, and the winner will move on to a three-way tag team number one contenders match on Dynamite. So that's happening too. That is also happening, right? Also on the show, if I'm not mistaken here, we're gonna get the Death Riders of Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta, who are going to be facing Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm in Australia in the hair versus hair match, going up against Sky Flights of Dante Martin and Zyda Steele. So you kind of guess who's going to win that match, right? After this, we saw the Babes of Wrath going up against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford in a women's tag team championship eliminator match. And I'm gonna make y'all guess how y'all thought that match went. The match went about 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Look, it was just there for the most part. Nothing to really go crazy about, other than the fact that Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford got the win, as you expect. Because again, just like with Tony Storm, Harley Cameron is from Australia. So you need that representation at Grand Slam Australia. And it is official. It will be the Babes of Wrath defending the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships against Megabad of Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne. That should be a solid one, but hey, we just beat the champions. Like, again, on this show, champs are chumps, you know? Champs are fucking chumps. Also, we heard from the newly crowned TNT champion and Tommaso Ciampa. We heard from Tommaso Ciampa. It's basically him talking about how he would carry the tradition of the TNT championship. He is going to carry that tradition, right? The same way that Mark Briscoe carried the tradition, right? And also, he is naming the title. I don't know if y'all heard this or not. Sylvie. He's naming the TNT championship Sylvie. If you remember, Tommaso Ciampa in NXT called the NXT championship Goldie. So now we're calling the TNT title Sylvie. And Tommaso Ciampa will be defending Sylvie this Saturday on Collision in a three-way match between against Roderick Strong and also the CMLL World Champion Claudio Castagnoli. That's happening this Saturday on Collision. After this, we saw Ricochet versus Jack Perry for the national championship. The match was, it was there for the most part. I know Ricochet throughout the day yesterday was going at it on social media, talking about how he felt that his time in WWE tarnished his legacy. And look, I know there's people who got upset by that, right? Oh, why would he say this and that? I'll be honest. The man has a right to his opinion. He has a right to express how he feels. Totally does. So I am not angry with that. I think Ricochet, at the end of the day, if we're to look right now, his time in WWE to his time now, like honestly, his time in WWE where he shined the most was in NXT. That was it. Name you one thing on the main roster that was worth giving a damn. Go. Oh, wait. It's completely night and day, his run in AEW versus his time in WWE. Complete night and day. And for the most part, is Ricochet, is he CM Punk on the mic? No, but there's been some improvement on the microphone. There has been. I've been enjoying the heel run, right? The match itself, went about the time that it did. I believe it was 13 minutes. And what do you know? What do you know? Jack Perry did not capture the national championship. Gates of Agony got involved, the Young Bucks got involved, and all this led to Ricochet retaining the championship, as you expect, right? But also from there we go on to what happened near the main event. Brody King versus MJF in a championship eliminator. Okay, I'm gonna just say this. If you want to do world title eliminators with all your other titles, fine. But the AEW world champion should not be eating a pin. Should not be eating a fucking pin. No. Because now it's like, why should I watch the fucking match? Why should I care? And that is what happened. That's what happened. Brody King and MJF went at it, and the match itself went about 3 minutes, almost, where MJF got squashed. Yes, they were chanting, fuck ice, right? They were chanting that, right? So you got that moment, and I'm all for that. Fuck ice, right? But yeah, Brody King defeated MJF like it was nothing. He choked him out on the outside. So MJF was literally dangling off the apron the same way that Dragon Lee was dangling off the apron when Gunther choked him out on Raw. But yeah, Brody King got the win. And as a result, at Grand Slam Australia, it will be MJF versus Brody King for the AEW World Championship. Gee, I wonder who's winning this match. And at the end of the match, MJF, Andrade, Hangman Page brawled. After the match, King stood tall to end the broadcast. So again, this show as a whole, you're building up towards Grand Slam Australia, right? You already got some key matches. You have, for what this is worth, MJF and Brody King. I think MJF will retain. You have Jon Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita. These two guys are going to go at it and tear it up for the Continental Championship. And then you have Andrade and Hangman Adam Page. And again, if I'm AEW, I'm giving Andrade the win. We've been down this road before with Hangman Page. I'm good. And also you have the Babes of Wrath defending the women's tag team titles against Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. What did you like about Dynamite from last night? What did you not like? Also, this Saturday on Collision, you're going to get Skyflight of, oh my goodness, of Dante Martin and Zaya Steele going up against Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir in a mixed tag team match. We're going to hear from the AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander, to see what stipulation she is going to choose for her match against Tekla. We're also going to get Kevin Knight going up against Scorpio Sky. You're also going to get this parking lot brawl between the Rascals, right, and Eddie Kingston and Ortiz as they go up against Big Bill, Brian Keith, and the Grizzled Young Veteran. I forgot they were still there. And also, you're going to have Tommaso Ciampa defending Sylvie, that being the TNT Championship. He's carrying on the tradition against Roderick Strong and Claudio Castagnoli, who is the CMLL World Champion. We're going to hear from Tekla, will also be in action. And also, the Gates of Agony against the Young Bucks. The winner of this advances to the three-way tag team match to determine who will be the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. That was Dynamite as a whole. That was Dynamite. Still wondering why Andrade didn't work out. WWE twice, bro. It's way too talented to be wasted in catering. I agree, but things happen, bro. It is what it is. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have not checked out the other content on the channel, feel free to do so when you get the chance. Steve's Kitchen, that myself and Chase We were live on Monday. We talked about all the stuff that went down from the Royal Rumble 2026. If you've not checked out the Raw Rundown, I basically, gave my thoughts on Monday Night Raw, where Roman Reigns selected CM Punk to challenge at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship because he hates CM Punk. And then obviously tonight with Something About Dynamite, look at those baddies, bro. Andrade's on a roll. Thank you all for tuning in. I think, look, if you're a channel member, I think later on today, we're going to be watching chamber matches. Us, the gang, will be watching chamber matches as a family. We're not going to be going live or anything. Okay. So if you're a channel member, feel free to join. Okay. And that's going to be it. Thank you all for tuning in. Much love to all of you. For myself, for the gang, have a good weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the Bad Bunny concert. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, this has been Something About Dynamite here on the Around the Point Network.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.